I have worked for CEOs who made their assistants taste their smoothies, CEOs who refused to read emails longer than a haiku, and one who insisted his board presentations be set in the Western theme on PowerPoint. Only one starts his day flat on his back beneath a brass mobile, hands tucked behind his head, while I read him the agenda and talk quarterly metrics over the soft rip of diaper tabs. That's Forrest Parker, founder of Parker Premium Comfort Wear, evangelist of sanctioned rest, and the only person I've met who can make a diaper sound like a line item. The press calls him the baby CEO. Internally, we call him Forrest because Sir makes him feel old and Boss makes him feel like he isn't wearing what he's wearing. Nursery. A used to be the executive lounge. Now it's brass moons and stars turning lazily where the chandelier once hung, walls painted the color of a well-behaved cloud, carpet so plush it erases your shoe size, and a freestanding privacy screen with Parker Premium Comfort Wear marching across it in tasteful gold. The screen is both theater and boundary. I stand on one side with my tablet. He's on the other, blazer off, tie loosened, composed from the waist up, entirely on brand from the waist down. "Good morning, Forrest," I say. "Morning, Jenna." I set the tablet on the padded side table and start exactly where spreadsheets and towels meet. Subscriptions are up 10% quarter over quarter. Argyle Winter is outperforming Plaid Heritage by 8 points. Churn slipped into single digits after the Comfort Club rollout. The first tab opens with a gentle rip. He makes the little pleased sound he saves for numbers and hot milk. The second tab, another rip, and I fold the front away. In the cabinet, the fresh diaper waits in its box like a luxury pastry, thick, quilted winter white with the Parker crest jacquard at the waistband. 200 new subscribers a week, I say, sliding the fresh one into position with the kind of neutral efficiency that keeps HR asleep at night. Southeast Distribution Hub is live, transit time down by a day and a half. I smooth the panel, align the crest, dust a faint veil of lavender powder, and seal the tabs, left, right, flat and clean. The room smells like laundry day at a very expensive hotel. "All set," I say. "Q1 ready?" He props himself up on his elbows, the picture of someone who believes civilization begins with being well fastened, and signs the morning approvals I lay along the edge of the bench. Chamomile velvet, evening scent, the embossed tins for comfort dust, powder, the updated copy for a landing page that once dared to use moisture and has been corrected to calmly dry. We're in the boardroom by 10. Walnut paneling, city view, a ficus that thrives on investor tension, and at the head, Forrest, suit jacket crisp, diaper quiet but undeniable under the table's overhang. He sits in the high-back chair we had custom upholstered because meetings are where posture and padding become co-conspirators. He looks like every magazine cover, the haircut that says I know the right people, the smile that says I hired them. Helen from finance runs the numbers. Premium renewals up 11%, new customer acquisition cost down 4%, average order value up 7% since we bundled comfort wear with quiet button and wrap. A faint crinkle when he shifts his weight, the sonic equivalent of a signature. We move to product feedback. Midnight Cloud gets 5-star reviews. I slept through my own thoughts. The seasonal Argyle made 3 directors in a focus group tear up, which in brand speak means we got the shade of nostalgia exactly right. And now, Omega, Forrest says, and even the ficus leans in. Dependable Undergarments appears beside our logo on the screen, their handshake to our bow-tied square. Alignment, he says, careful as a surgeon. Distribution joined, voice independent. Functionally, Helen murmurs, a combination. We do not say the M word here. We keep a laminated glossary. We respect it like a health code. At 11, innovation playpen. Rahul from Product is in his soft is a strategy sweatshirt again. He shows us comfort wraps, thick, quilted, jewel tones with discreet pockets for supplies because life happens and dignity travels light. He sets out quiet buttons in fog, oat, sailor. Even the samples look solvent. Then the limited edition comfort dust tins, book-embossed metal, faint bergamot, a whisper of linen closet, and I sign the card copy. Because even routine deserves ceremony, I believe it just enough to sell it. Noon, executive lunch, bib, pea puree, a plate of real food for optics. I spoon while I read the morning clips. Mommy blogger says our concierge fitting saved her marriage. CNBC calls you a market disruptor. Industry blog insists you're infantilizing America and also asks where to get a discount code. At 1, the quick comfort check. Not a full change, just a refresh. Tabs off, panel away, new diaper slid into place. Today it's plaid heritage for presents, he calls it, as if he's dressing a violin. Powder, smooth, seal, straighten the tie. He thanks me with the tiny nod reserved for people who keep a day aligned. 2 o'clock. Reset, I say. Nap is a cornerstone, not a secret. Lights to afternoon kindness. Rain track 3, the one without thunder. Markets provide enough weather. He lies back and lets the world shrink to acceptable size. The mobile turns lazy circles over a city that eats calendars for sport. At 2:45, PR calls because PR only calls during naps. Dependable moved the pre-brief to 3 o'clock, they say. They want to pre-align alignment. I wake him with a voice the exact temperature of warm milk. Tiny wrinkle. He opens his eyes like a cat that knows you left and forgives you entirely for now. We adapt, he says, and sits up. Bring the bottle. It's polished steel with the crest laser-etched, the sort of object that could pass customs at a design museum. The pre-brief is Doug from Dependable smiling out of a rectangle like a couch you can't afford in a house you don't want. Team, so jazzed for this not a merger, he says, already wrong. We massage the document. Combined becomes joined. Integration becomes coordination. Synergy is a war crime in our brand voice. Legal suggests cohere, which sounds like a poet got into the brief, but fine. By the end, the release reads like wedding vows written by a supply chain. It will fool no one and reassure everyone. This is our art. 3:30, call center floor. Forrest thanks reps for reframing returns as cooling periods. Language moves outcomes, he says, and the reps nod because they've all convinced a human to breathe slower into a headset. A rep asks if we'll ever do a rap in Serious Lawyer Who Secretly Naps. I tell her Midnight Library lands in winter, Navy, faint constellations, the suggestion you've read Proust even if you only own him. 4 o'clock back in Nursery A for a full change before legal. It's always pre-legal. He likes to face counsel feeling freshly assembled. I set the tablet down and slide the tote closer. The rhythm is practiced. Tabs, fold, away. Fresh diaper from the box, slide smooth. He stares at the ceiling as I brief him, and the absurdity doesn't diminish the efficiency. It's just our version of a standing meeting. Press sentiment holding. Seasonal print waitlist tops 14,000. We'll need more inventory if the blog's gift of gentle guide lands. I dust powder, the faintest veil, lavender with a citrus spine, and align the crest. Investor deck updated, no M word, but legal wants the phrase ordinary course integration in the footnote. He exhales through his nose. His eye smelled smoke, but its candle sound. No. I seal the tabs. Understood. He sits, buttons his blazer, and drinks from the steel bottle like it's a trophy. When legal arrives, the room smells only like linen and ambition. We get through disclaimers without anyone saying the thing we won't. Just before 5, Helen appears with the face she saves for alarms that aren't sirens yet. Dependable's counsel sent a small adjustment, she says, file folded like a secret. They want to centralize manufacturing. Forrest stops smiling. The mobile above the bench seems to slow. For a heartbeat, every well-oiled hinge in this building waits. What kind of centralize? He asks. The kind that spells control in the footnotes, Helen says. It's still alignment, on paper. We stand there in a triangle of quiet. Finance, operations, and the man whose name is on the crest. This is the part of my job where language becomes scaffolding. If the sentence holds, the structure stands. Jenna, he says finally, not taking his eyes off the page. If I say no to this, do we lose the distribution promise? Yes, I say, because the answer is the answer. He nods once. Set a 5 p.m. reconvene. Tell them we want cadence, not control, and make me presentable. We have 6 minutes. I straighten his tie, smooth his jacket, palm the faintest wrinkle from the front of his trousers. I check the time, the bottle, the pen he prefers for signatures because the weight makes him write more certain. I stand back. You look inevitable, I say. He laughs. It's a real sound, the kind people make before they remember microphones. That'll have to do. The boardroom at 5 is a landscape, papers hilled and valleyed, faces weathered into roles. Everett, our cardiganed outside director, has printed the latest. Like paper can make truth heavier. Paragraph 3, he says, combined company. Replace, Forrest says. I cross it out with the kind of pen that implies a trust fund and write the company. We walk the rest. Joined, aligned, distributed, independent. The sentence doesn't lie exactly. It just refuses to gossip. We adjourn. The building exhales its end-of-day breath. In the lobby, a banner declares another successful day of pampering. Outside, the light has turned to the flattering honey that makes even scaffolding look like a choice. The car idles. The driver opens the door. PR pings the final to his phone. He reads it the way one reads a menu when the chef hates substitutions. He squints. Paragraph 4, he says. Combined operations. Joined cadence, I say, already typing. I hit send. He signs with a flourish that says the pen is heavy and the hand knows it. Free play? I ask, because I put it on his calendar like a dare. Free play, he says, and slides into the car. The door closes with a click engineered to sound like confidence. I ride the elevator back up because endings are for people whose inboxes nap. I detour past Nursery A and write a note on the whiteboard for facilities. Oil privacy hinge, comfort shouldn't creak, and then go to my desk. The plant looks alive again. So do I if I don't look in a mirror. I open a fresh document, talking points, alignment without dampness. First line, we're joining distribution and protecting tone. Second line, we're expanding reliability without surrendering voice. Then I add the internal note no one will read but me. If they insist on combined, make it the company. If they insist again, ask which company they mean. My phone pings. Industry blog headline, Parker plus Dependable, soft giants merge. I reply with the pre-approved correction and a gif of our mascot tilting his head, the friendliest version of no. They change the headline to Love Story of Soft. Worse, but kinder. I'll take it. On my way out, I pass the change center. The frosted glass catches the last light. The bow-tied square grins like he knows how the footnotes end. The door is set to available. Someone from facilities is inside tidying, straightening the branded tote, counting tins, resetting the stack of folded waiting whites. There's a holiness to preparation. It's what we sell dressed as merchandise. The bus home smells like winter jackets and a bakery I can't see. Across the aisle, a woman reads the blog on her phone, eyebrows climbing the way eyebrows do when they meet a word they don't trust. Two teenagers pass a pair of earbuds back and forth, faces tilted like sunflowers toward some song I'm too old for and too curious to hate. I rest my head against scratched glass and watch a banner get rolled up in the lobby. Another successful day of pampering, now a cylinder of letters and promise. At home, the radiator ticks a patient metronome. I put water on for tea and open the notebook that isn't on the company drive. I write, morning change, clean, fast, 2-tab cadence. Subscriptions plus 10%. Argyle greater than plaid by 8 points. Do not allow integration near investor deck, coordination only. Powder. Keep lavender/citrus balance. Last batch skewed grandma. Midnight library wrap. Remember Karen in call center wants a sample for mom. Oil hinge. Comfort shouldn't creak. My phone buzzes one more time. It's PR, sheepish at an hour that makes honesty cheap. Dependable's counsel says paragraph 6 needs combined company for ordinary course language. They say everyone uses it. They say it's ordinary. I stare out at the streetlight catching snow that isn't there yet. I think of the screen, the tabs, the way words sit down when you ask nicely and mean it. I type proposed, the company. If not, the joined company. If not, this company. If not, we ask which company they mean. I hit send. The kettle clicks off. Somewhere, Forrest is setting his phone face down on a table that cost more than my yearly rent, closing his eyes while Gentle Rain 3 plays through speakers that don't admit to having wires. He will sleep the sleep of a man held in place by routines he paid for, in a city maintained by people who keep them. In the morning, he'll wake under the mobile. I'll knock. The day will begin with a schedule and the soft rip of a tab. We will do it all again. Care and copy, comfort and footnotes, the choreography of being human in a way that doesn't leak onto the profits. And sometime around 5 o'clock, in a room with a ficus and a chair that knows how to listen, someone will slide a paper across the table and ask us to love a word we don't. Maybe they win it tomorrow. Maybe we do. Until then, I'll keep the sentence tight and the screen in place. And when he says, make me presentable, I will do the ordinary miracle of making a person feel safe enough to make decisions. On the counter, my phone glows again. One-line email from Helen, tomorrow 9 a.m. Dependable wants to clarify manufacturing. Could be nothing. Could be everything. I flip the notebook to a clean page and write the only agenda item that matters, cliffhanger. Then I put the tea in a mug that says alignment is a blanket, sit by the window and rehearse how I'll say it at dawn. Good morning, Forrest. Subscriptions are up 10%. I'm going to undo your tabs and walk you through Omega. And because the world is kinder when it's labeled, I whisper the last word we never say, just to see if the room will break. It doesn't. The radiator ticks. The night drifts toward a soft edge. The city turns over, somewhere behind its own very pretty screen. and waits for someone to choose the next word.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Mommy Sarah's Story Time. If you enjoyed the stories, please support the channel by liking and subscribing. Remember, my channel is not monetized, and I write most of the content myself. On occasions when I don't, it's sourced through emails from trusted contacts. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you're able to, consider making a donation to support our channel. Your support means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more stories with you.